Hey everybody, Gabby here, and welcome to today's episode of A Battle a Day. So today we're playing another game with my TornOgre++ team where it has Whimsicott instead of Tornadus. Admittedly, I am starting to see a bit more why people are using Tornadus. We played a ton with this team last night on Twitch, and it seems like when you're facing off against Kartana or like the mirror matchup, especially, having Hurricane just makes or breaks a lot of stuff. Even with Kartana's bulk, a Hurricane against a Dynamax Kartana will still do about like 30 to 40. So it's absolutely ridiculous, to be frank. So it's something that I definitely have to start playing around a bit more. I've also noticed that in the mirror, especially, a late game Tailwind can just be absolutely devastating. So I think what I'm going to try and do for this matchup is we're going to prepare ourselves for a late game Tailwind and bring Whimsicott and Kyogre in the back. Actually, let me change the lead. I don't like Regieleki as a lead here. I was originally thinking Regieleki just because it would be nice to have that speed control, but Kartana is just the better Pokemon overall in this matchup, so we'll go with that. Sorry about that. It's weird, like, I'll be fine before like starting these videos, and then the second I start talking, my throat's like, hey Gabby, it's dry in your office. Like, can you do something about that? No. I think it must just be because it's a lot colder out now. We got a ton of snow actually, which is pretty cool. So I miss snow. Yeah, anyways, I don't know what else to talk about because I feel like I kind of talked about the mirror decently enough, and as much as it's intriguing to see Seismitoad and Goodra on here, I don't think they'll necessarily be defining this matchup. Maybe it's wrong for me to say that, we'll see, but Seismitoad does get Swift Swim Earth Power, and that is something I've been seeing people talk a little bit about as well to help with the Dialga matchup, though. Excuse me. Just can't win today. Anyways, I've been seeing some people talk about the Dialga matchup, and it seems like it's a toss-up between, like, having Dialga, how do I want to phrase this? Having Dialga snarled into oblivion, or just going for those super powerful earth powers, but it looks like that's not something we're going to have to consider at this point in time, as my opponent is leading Tornadus and Kyogre against my Kartana and Incineroar. So the way I've been playing this lead is pretty straightforward. You go for the fake out on the Tornadus, and then try to go for the knockout into the Tornadus as well. I'm going to Smart Strike over anything else just because I don't necessarily need the speed control, and I'm worried about the Tornadus getting Tailwind up next turn, so. Sorry, everybody. I don't know what's up with my throat today. I don't know. I guess if it gets bothering me too much, I can just do some wild gesturing and interpretive miming to describe how I feel about this matchup. Anyways, the switch to Goodra here confirms that it's most likely Sap Sipper, which is fine. I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and pivot out to... Actually, no, I think we'll just stay in and Snarl, really. It's not like any of these Pokemon are going to be threatening me at this point in time, and I feel like I can do enough damage with a Steel Spike on the board, so we'll go ahead and do that. The one thing we do have to worry about a bit here is Goodra, usually they're like Assault Vest, and if we were to have seen a Dynamax here, like a Max Flare would have not been great. But it looks like my opponent just decided to go for a Focus Blast. Which, okay, I mean, I understand that, whatchamacallit, Max Knuckle isn't really the best of all the Max moves, but, Focus Blast is not also accurate, she says, as Snarl fails to connect with the Tornadus. So that, yeah, you know what? Live your best life, Goodra. So now that that's all taken care of, we'll go ahead and Parting Shot the Tornadus, get ready to come back in with a Steel Spike, or a Intimidate and a Fake Out at some point. Hope that we take the Hurricane when we don't get confused. Oh, never mind. He just outsped at that point. Alright, well, that's fine. That's fine. Goodra's almost KO'd anyways. We can Parting Shot into Whimsicott. Actually, do we want a Parting Shot into Whimsicott? I'm almost wondering if we want to Parting Shot into the Kyogre instead, and then send in Sin and like fake out Water Spout. Yeah, actually, I think that's what I want to do. So I am a little bit nervous about the Kyogre still being in the back, and I think we'll take a moment here to just quickly check Tailwind turns, since a lot of this battle is going to be like Tailwind positioning essentially. So, and oh, we're gonna take like a nasty chunk of damage too from a Hurricane. Yeah, okay. First we'll check Tailwind turns. So let's do that now, so then I can put my face back on the other side. Okay, 2 turns of Tailwind, that's fine. So let's do Water Spout and then fake out into the Tornadus. This way we can go for a Protect next turn and feel somewhat confident in the rest of this game somehow. I don't think Goodra is going to deal big damage to Kyogre, quite frankly. I'm trying to remember if it even gets... It might get Giga Drain, I guess, but yeah, that's fair. Alright. So there's the Protect again from the Tornadus. So my opponent is correctly recognizing that Tailwind is really the big threat. Thunder Shock into Kyogre doesn't do that much, thankfully. And more importantly, doesn't get a Paralysis either. So the bigger issue, again, is just making sure that my opponent can't re-up their Tailwind after the next turn. So I think we let Incineroar go down. And then we Origin Pulse? Ooh, oh, that's interesting. Okay, Urshifu is their last Pokemon. So they're going to go for the Kyogre slot because they're assuming I can't Protect. So yeah, that does force our hand a little bit. That's alright. I think... Yeah, we'll try this. We'll try this. Ooh, okay, interesting. So if we don't get KO'd by a close combat here, which is honestly a possibility, then, or if we do get KO'd by a close combat here, then we can get in the Kyogre. But it looks like my opponent's going for Wicked Blow into the Kyogre. So yeah, they were definitely thinking about... They were definitely thinking about the fact that I was going to Protect the stall out their Tailwind. So this actually works out kind of nicely. We do get our Intimidate and our Fake Out back. We have a -1 special attack on the opposing Kyogre, and we're going to go first for the next turn. Assuming I go for Tailwind, which I feel like I kind of have to. So, yeah. Oh, and the rain stopped. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Alright, so let's go... Let's go Tailwind. I think I have to Tailwind, and then we'll Origin Pulse. If Whimsicott somehow makes it till next turn, then we can finish off the Urshifu with a Moonblast. But it would be nice to catch the Tornadus in on a switch here, but yeah, no. And that's going to be, I'm assuming, the Kyogre, because I don't think you can get Urshifu in any other Pokeball yet. Yeah. Alright, so they will go for Max Geyser to reset the rain. So that works out in our benefit, but losing the Kartana early on definitely is not great. So yeah, this is... See, like, if I had the Tornadus here, or if I had my own, whatchamacallit, Tornadus here instead of the Whimsicott, I feel like I'd be a little bit better off. Again, just because of the Hurricanes, but... You know, it is what it is. Maybe Kyogre will surprise me and not take a lot of damage from a Max Geyser. I guess this Kyogre could also be running Max Lightning for coverage. That's something that some people are doing now, and yeah, that's probably game. Let's see, what else could I do? We do have the benefit of Tailwind, but we're not going to be faster than the... I don't know, will we be... I think we will be faster than the Urshifu. We go for another Origin Pulse. Yeah, I don't really see how this works out at this point because I don't have anything to damage their Kyogre. So the thing I should have done would have been to preserve Kartana a bit better rather than going for the early Dynamax, because now we're in the situation where it's like, I mean, the nice thing to our benefit is that they did switch in Tornadus, and provided Origin Pulse doesn't do the thing it does where it always misses the Pokemon that you want it to hit, as seen in Exhibit A, that would have been okay, because then we would have always outsped. We could have just done some of these Snarl things, and maybe found a way to power through the rest of this team. But because the Origin Pulse missed and did not KO the opposing Tornadus, he's going to Tailwind next turn, and yeah. That would have been game anyways. I was maybe hoping for a second that they would have targeted the Incineroar other than the Kyogre, but the Kyogre was really the threat at that point in time. So it just goes to show you, when you're playing this mirror match, you really got to be careful. I want to see if I can take a Max Geyser in the rain after a Snarl. Let's just see this damage calc play out. Since he'll match the Tailwind, so Kyogre will be faster, and then at -1 in the rain, a presumably base power 160 from Water Spout does not knock out. I'm assuming that was a roll, but gosh darn it, that was a beautiful roll. Alright, so the Incin is fine. The Incin is great. The Incin is beautiful. It's really just Kartana management and not giving your opponent the opportunity to go for those big attacks into Kartana early on. So yeah, I think I could have probably pivoted to the Whimsicott a bit sooner than I actually did, since that would have allowed us to maybe Moonblast for the KO on Goodra instead of just kind of whiffing it a couple times with the Kartana. That Focus Blast did a ton of damage even with the Assault Vest, which isn't great, but that's the kind of adaptations I think we're going to start seeing from people. So let's just check this really quick. I'm curious about, Protect, Water Spout, Thunder, Ice Beam. So the good thing here is once you do enough damage to Kyogre, it's forced to rely on either Thunder or Ice Beam, which isn't as great as the Water Spout, but it is what it is. Life Orb Seismitoads with Swift Swim, Muddy Water Earth Power Focus Blast. So they actually have 2 Pokemon on this team with Focus Blast, so that's probably a good sign of just how scary Kartana is to them. This is the standard Tornadus set right now. Light Clay Raichu. I like that. I've been thinking of giving Regieleki Light Clay and Screen, so that's actually super interesting. And Assault Vest Goodra with Sap Sipper, Dragon Pulse, Focus Blast, Flamethrower, Thunderbolt. Yeah, so really, the way that my opponents built this team, banned Urshifu as well, it just goes to show you, I think, how scary Kartana can be from their perspective. So good things to keep in mind. I think that Goodra is an interesting support Pokemon to put on this core just because it does get Sap Sipper and it's so bulky. It just works really well in conjunction with the other Pokemon on the team. But still, I think if I would have managed Kartana a bit better and maybe tried to get my end game so that it was no Tornadus and Kartana left, we would have been okay. The Urshifu obviously would have still been something to worry about, but if Kartana and Kyogre were next to each other, I think that would have worked out fine. So good things to keep in mind for next time. But for now, that's all I have time for. So if you're enjoying these videos and this series, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You can leave a like, you can leave a comment down below. They all really mean a lot. I'll be doing some streaming tomorrow night if you're watching this the day it comes out. If not, I stream on Twitch every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday evening starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, and it's a lot of fun. We're just kind of working through this team, figuring out what I like about it, what I don't like about it, so I can then make another version with some changes. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all are staying safe and happy, and I will see you next time on a battle a day. So see you later, everybody. Bye.